These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the semifinals of Worlds 2024.
And you can see where Skarner's gone. He's already moving down to cover on this bottom side. Will get scuttled for himself. Maybe looking at a dive, but Tarzan has just started to move back up top side. Bin once more though, should have Counter-Strike available. I don't think he's going to go for this. Yeah.
All right, that ruins
Big
everything
mistake.
right there. Light and crisp. 3 turret shots for nothing. Now we'll see if BLG can get something back on the other side of the map. Breathe, gonna be under a little bit of pressure here. Nice and early, slamming it back into the wall. Sean needs a little bit more damage. Projectile in the air ain't gonna be enough help. Barely survives the turret shot. Shun doing the same. BLG's dive barely fails.
XP is so critically important, and that's why he committed the early flash, and I think it paid off big time.
Xiaohu missing the Q3. Still trying to trade with Knight here in the mid lane. Level 6 available for the Smolder, but not quite yet on the Yone. You can see the EXP on the side there. Xiaohu just now hitting it.
And no TP on Breathe either. So this is a, can we get quickly one of these grubs for ourselves? Looks like Tarzan should be able to do so as BLG get in, but Weibo just need to disengage from this one.
Yeah, Tarzan's gonna grab that first grub. Smites down the second. Actually, 2 grubs over to Weibo. Third one is secured by BLG.
Really nicely done there by Tarzan. He gets multiple of the grubs low. He's able to finish one off without using the smite. Saved the smite for the seconds to steal that away. So further ahead, yes, Bin to TP towards top, but not before he lost an entire wave and another plate went over to Breathe. So Breathe is now at 550 gold ahead in that 1v1. And it's not really because of individual outplays. It's because of the lane assignments. It's because of where they're moving him on the map. And Breathe is just getting the better end of this situation, which is not really where you would want it. But Nico obviously, can build some carry items here, so maybe more beneficial than it would otherwise be. But you can see Breathe is going, for more of an aggressive build. Sundered Sky is generally the rush for Poppy Top when they do want to go a little bit aggressive. Sometimes people will build multiple aggressive items, but it's almost always just the Sundered Sky into tank. And that can be tough for Jax, really until a couple items into the game, especially when you are at a disadvantage like this. Can be a bit rough.
Well, hey, BLG claiming first turret now. All of that extra pressure on the bottom lane. Even if the dives don't work out, they're constantly making Weibo play on the back foot. They're always crashing the waves. They're always getting the damage on the turret. And that's first turret of the game, just a little bit over 10 minutes in, puts that gold lead back up to over 1,000. But now it's Weibo looking for the second set of grubs. And it looks like BLG's not in a good spot to contest here just yet. The first grub's already going over, and Weibo should guarantee 4, maybe just even the 5, uncontested.
And that's what I think the trade on the tower was. It was, look, you're starting to hit Kalista, who doesn't quite have her first item, but she's incredibly strong.
Highlight reel after highlight reel from him.
And I think it's incredible to see his journey through. I kind of thought, oh, hang on.
Hold on, we got a bit of a problem over here in the mid lane. Xiaohu trying to flash away and stay alive. Does barely get out there, trying to use the Fate Seal to escape the Skarner, but the Impale was too powerful, so Flash also had to be committed. Weibo keeps their mid laner standing, but the top lane tier 1 turret can't tell the same tale, as Elk is going to collect even more money for himself.
But if you do get the tier 2 tower on bot side, which is likely for Weibo here, they're going to get a ton of gold, like 5 grubs. They demolish that thing. And now trying to protect your side lanes and, steady out this game for BLG becomes significantly more difficult when you don't have that tier 2 tower.
That hits alone, and then all of a sudden you're at 30%. That's that. You got to leave.
That's 30% more than I was expecting. Now let's see if we got the Rift Herald taken by Weibo before BLG can make their way over here. Shun is nearby. Might try to challenge for the smite, but it doesn't look like there's any chance. Not with Breathe hanging around. Easy, secure. Tarzan's got the smite, and Breathe can eject the Skarner.
And this is the trade on the other side. It's about the push down in bot lane. Bin had shoved that in. He's denying this wave down here from the opposition. He didn't have teleport, so they were never going to fully commit to it. I think they're just trying to keep them honest and say, you need to keep the rest of your team here just in case we were to fight. So they're buying that time for Bin, allowing him to try to claw his way back in.
And again, just kind of buying time for Knight as well to scale up. He's now set off to his side lane to keep himself safe, knowing that Weibo have to go for these resets. So as long as you're able to keep check of Weibo, you're in a good spot as BLG. But with Rift Herald now, they can open up on this mid lane.
Tournament. We are 17.5 minutes into the game, still no deaths on the board, and Weibo are just looking to continue to farm more turrets instead of champions. It's been an objective-focused game as Weibo lead turrets 3-2 and now have a 4-man push up here towards the tier 2 and top side.
Look, I'm not fully surprised. Chris was involved in the longest first blood ever in the LPL. Might as well bring it to Worlds as well. But Mom called, wave cleared, and it looks like Weibo going to back away here.
Bin down again on bot side. This is what I'm talking about. They're just going to keep trading. We'll see if Breathe can do anything about it, but Bin likely to be able to just walk this one out, and now after the tier 2 gold all goes into Bin pockets, Elk's going to take the tier 1 mid as well, so the gold very, very close. It's really where they want it, and they've just been buying so much time. Like, when you talk about a really, really slow game.
One important purchase, always keeping my eye on these whenever I see them. The QSS picked up for Xiaohu, does not want to get locked up, does not want to get punished. Nice damage from Elk! He just shot him straight to hell. Crisp is down. BLG with a nice pick from their AD carry.
They need to make a call, but the lack of engage again is hurting them. The poke from BLG is insane.
And it's 220 stacks on Smolder right now. This champion is about to tick over to superpower as BLG continue just shooting the poke back at Weibo. Shun now going to trade a little bit with Xiaohu, who has to reset. There with the soul unbound. Now you're going to have a TP coming in from Weibo, ready to keep this one going. Breathe has made his way into the fight. The Dragon's down to half HP. Breathe jumps in, tries to tackle on, but it ain't going to do a whole lot just yet. Ben still looking for the angle. Nice ejection onto the Skarner. They're trying to control the Drake. Breathe still in the front line. Drake to about 1,000. It's going to be slain by Xiaohu as now Weibo continue their push forward. BLG falling back as the hostile takeover doesn't do a whole lot. You've got Ben in the back line, but he ain't going to be able to do anything in a 1v3. Weibo take him out, and they want even more. A shutdown over the light as the Callista claims a second. Shun, Elk, and On all trying to escape as Tarzan's looking to burn down the AD carry. Elk will continue whittling away. The Leandries takes his soul. Weibo 4-4-0.
Weibo needed something desperately in this game. It was starting to slip away from them. But not only do they get the Dragon, they can turn over towards the Baron as well.
Was never able to find a way in here, never able to even use the ulti. The Nico got nothing done, and they weren't able to create that space for their AD carries to get the work done. Squishy targets, and Tarzan has been playing so far back, he hasn't really been able to get to him. There they go!
Flash for the counter-strike. They're going in after Xiaohu. The Impale doesn't find the target. Xiaohu's getting away, but Ben looks to keep on chasing. The second counter-strike will not find the stun, but Xiaohu has already used the Soul Unbound. He has to reset his position. He's going right back to where he started. I don't know if you even needed the Pop Blossom there. That felt excessive, but the point was made. Now Light trading with Night as another piercing arrow flies through the sky.
He's going to be down, and that could be critical. Maybe they can find an angle with a flash from Breathe or something on tonight.
But that's the Poppy ult down from Breathe just to protect the tier 2 top and the reset from Breathe coming in for its potential to come into this. But Weibo, they've already snuck away the Dragon. BLG just couldn't get in.
Nicely done from Weibo, now fate sealed. Xiaohu wanted to go in on Elk. Instead he gets slammed back into the ground with a Pop Blossom, and now the Impale's gonna drag him back a little bit further, but no! Yone escaped. Xiaohu does not take enough damage to escape the follow-up damage. Weibo's attempt on Bin, it takes all their manpower, so they can't finish the Baron.
But they're also taking a lot of poke, and Bin can TP in. Xiaohu trying to make a play to keep them in check, but Shun
could be in a little bit of trouble now, has to use the Ishtal Impact, slam Breathe into the wall, and continue making his own escape. Now Tarzan's got to be careful on continuing to try to push him back now as well. Ben has made his way back into the fight, stuns up Xiaohu, the counter strike is there, fate sealed to try to get away, but no! Elk snipes him down! Ben's gonna keep on looking for even more as Shun goes in for a nice impale, now On's gonna be killed off as well. Crisp drops On, and the rest of BLG all still alive.
The fight, but BLG do take it. They're going to TP back in, though. Breathe wants to make some magic happen.
Breathe is going to try to pull off some kind of a miracle here. So much control over the Baron pit for BLG, and Weibo slipped up pretty big.
He's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, or this could be rough.
All right, tier 2 turret under pressure. BLG looking to build as much with this Baron as they can, but Xiaohu is on the flank. Breathe looking for maybe an engage here, but he won't find it. Weibo still trying to find their way in as On's gonna be your target. Goes into the Pop Blossom for the counter engage. Xiaohu's low, but he snaps back after grabbing the first kill. Now Breathe has to try to escape, but the hostile takeover over the wall is stopping BLG's advance. Weibo has not lost a man, but they're at critically low health. Shun, Bin, and Knight all still looking. Big piercing arrow yet again. Another force of the Fate's call.
G with the bigger health bars.
Hashtag worth. You know, it worked out well. You sacrifice yourself, but we crack the base. It's a handshake deal that BLG will take every single time.
And the AD carries mine. Nothing of value is lost.
Exactly.
Just the support.
As a support player, I know that too well.
Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, you can see that tier 3 turret collapsing there, but honestly, still pretty high on health. Knight and Bin DPSing the Drake. Chris takes a massive chunk of damage, and Weibo have to be so careful about this now. Knight flaps back over the wall as the Cloud Drake is secured by Elk and BLG. Weibo continuing to try to get themselves back away from an advancing BLG. Xiaohu engages, he goes after On. He finds plenty of damage, but the kill isn't gonna happen just yet. Now with the stasis coming out from On, he survives for long enough for the two-man impale, but there's no further dividends being paid. Bin now in the stasis trying to get away as Weibo continue pushing towards the BLG top laner. He goes back in for the counter-strike, but it does not matter. Light takes him down, and Weibo's already found 2 kills. It'll be traded back finally for 1 as Knight kills Bree.
The fight from BLG was so separated. On gets caught, but Bin dives in the second he does. They just don't have the damage to try and finish off the Weibo members that are in front of them. So,
but still, not finding those angles, not being that huge X factor, it's night and day. Now, oh, a nice pick coming out from BLG. Huge kill onto Tarzan as Knight's now got to try to escape. Xiaohu snaps back, but is it going to be enough? The bailout might just get him out of danger. Elk's going to be killed off. Xiaohu lives, and immediately Weibo are fighting right back. Crisp drop. Knight kills him, but Bin has to go golden to barely stay alive. Knight needs a little bit more damage. Pop Blossom to lock up the enemy top laner. A double kill of a Knight, and Smolder has scaled. Pushing in the bottom lane the entire time. Weibo, if nothing else, has to get the teleport out of the Jax. Baron down to half HP. BLG still poking. Shun goes in, finds a slam into the wall, and now the damage is going to focus on Breathe and Crisp. On still staying alive defensively as Tarzan secures the Baron. BLG is trying to keep everybody close by. A nice impale over the wall comes out from Shun to lock up Light. Now they're going to be able to find the kill on Xiaohu. Now they're going to finish another one there on Light. Weibo may have claimed the Baron, but what about the game? Their push, that mid lane inhibitor still vulnerable from the tier 3 turret that was taken earlier. BLG is going to knock that one over, and the first super minion marches down the bottom lane. Breathe, trying to get past them to cut the minion wave and save the game. Just buy enough time. Breathe, still walking away, but the mid lane wave is crashing the Nexus turrets. Now Tarzan's under pressure as Ben zones him off. BLG trying to force the end of the game. 5 seconds left on the mid and 80 carry of Weibo, but it will not matter. BLG take game 1.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the semifinals of Worlds 2024. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.